Today, let me show you how to get unlimited funds for your brand new or seasoned business. That way, you won't consistently be on the hunt trying to find money and capital for your business. Now, this will also allow you to grow your business faster because you'll have everything that you need in place sooner. If you need a semi truck, a cargo van, restaurant equipment, more inventory, you name it. Now, if you didn't already know, 82% of businesses fail because of cash flow problems. Either you don't have any cash coming in at all, or maybe your expenses are just really close to the income you bring in. And when you don't have the income there to hire people or to pay the people you've already hired, or to get those trucks and equipment that's going to actually help you expand your business and get more jobs. You know how essential those things are to your business. And when most people are trying to get the money to get those things, they go about getting the wrong products, which won't ultimately give them unlimited funding. Now, the top two things that people usually go to with businesses is going to be grant or loan. Now, with grants, they can be very competitive. A lot of times you're in contest style situations where you have to try to compete for them, or you have to submit your application with a bunch of other people submitting their applications for funding. It's usually not a guaranteed way of getting funding, and it can be more challenging to do so. Now, with loans, this is the other thing that most people seek out to try to get funding for their business. The problem with loans is maybe you're at the beginning of your business, you take out a whole lump sum of money and you actually get the loan, and then you immediately have to start making those payments back like within the next 30 days. But if you're new in business and you don't have enough revenue coming in to cover that payment, or you haven't realized the return on investment for that money you took out yet, then it can make it hard to go ahead and tackle that payment. Not to mention, loans have higher requirements to get approval. Usually you can't really get them as a newer business. So if you do need this as a new business, more than likely at most places, you're not going to be able to get that because you have to be in business for 2 years at most of the regular banks. And then once you do actually acquire the loan and you pay it off, now that is all gone. And to get access to funding, you have to qualify and put in another application and try to get some more money. Now, I discovered the best option when I was working at Wells Fargo. Now, there I was a personal banker and a business banker, so I took all the applications for loans, credit cards, you name it, for businesses and on the personal side. And I found that credit cards were actually the most flexible option and the best option for getting funding for your business. Now, once you get approved for this, you actually have time to wait until you've used the card before you will see any payment. Credit cards are the only way that you can really get 0% interest on the funds that you take out. With anything else, you're going to already have the interest rate attached to it and have money to pay back. Not to mention, you can avoid interest on these credit cards. How? By basically paying before the statement ends. And that way, no balance is reported and no interest is calculated on that reported balance. So now you end up avoiding the interest by just paying it off within the same month, or within the same cycle rather. And because this is a credit card, it's always open. You don't have to apply for another one just to get more access to funds. You use it, pay it off, and then you have access to the same amount of money to use it over again. And look, before you leave thinking this is just the same old information, there is a strategy you can use to keep this unlimited funding growing and going even further. But before I get to that, if you guys are enjoying this video so far, make sure you give it a thumbs up so YouTube can know to show this to more people so that they can get this information that you're getting right now. And if you know somebody out there that's applying for a bunch of grants or getting denied for a bunch of loans, make sure you tell them about this option and send them this video so that they can have a different way of looking at things and try to actually get some funding for their business. Now, whenever you get funded for your business, usually you're going to spend that money on, various different things in different categories, and you get nothing for spending that money other than the fact that you spent the money and got what you needed. But with a credit card, usually they're going to have some type of points or reward system that you can accumulate for doing what you were already going to do. Now, some credit cards have certain categories that you'll get a certain number or multiplier of points back. Like with American Express Gold, you can get, I think, 4 times the points on ads. And there are a few other cards that might give you additional points for getting gas or for travel, using rental cars or hotels. And some give you points for whatever you spend money on. And a lot of you guys are in business and you see other people in business out there traveling the world and stuff like that. And a lot of times they're using credit cards in their business, gathering up those points, and then they get either extremely discounted and sometimes free trips and travel to go and take advantage of some of those vacations. And at most of the banks that you should be going to, there's an extra benefit for those of you guys that are new in business. It works for those of you that are seasoned in business too, but it's going to be especially beneficial to you guys that are brand new in business. But first, let me that strategy that I was talking about to keep your unlimited funding growing and going. So basically, what you want to do is once you get approved for one of these credit cards, what you want to do is, of course, take advantage of that introductory period where you have 0% interest so that you can get what you need and 0% funds, right? At zero cost to you. But then to increase the amount of funds that you have unlimited access to and the amount of 0% interest that you get outside of, paying off the balance at the end of the month or the end of the cycle rather, you can strategically apply for another card after that time frame is about to end. And then guess what? You can transfer the balance that you might have left on that first card to the new business credit card with 0% interest. And now guess what? Maybe you have another 9 to 12 months, maybe even 18 months of 0% interest on the remaining balance that you have. You just freed up space on that first card. And of course, you probably still have the money left over on the new card since you had already paid down the previous balance. This is how you keep the amount of funding that you get growing. And if you have two cards now, you have unlimited access to, let's say, two credit cards with $10,000 maybe. So now you have $20,000. And of course, if you get approved for more, you have access to even more funding. And you can keep doing this to keep the amount that you have growing, keep having 0% interest on it, and of course, keep stacking up points between all of the cards. Now, I'm going to get to that extra special benefit for the new business owners in just a second, but I want to be clear about how you guys are going to be going about getting these cards. So I want you to know that this is going to be a personal guarantee. Now, a lot of people try to get you to stray away from that and go no personal guarantee, which is great when it comes time to do something like that. But you can get access to funds a whole lot faster by just using your personal credit, doing the personal guarantee. These types of cards won't show up on your personal credit profiles unless you get Capital One. Then that might be something you have to worry about. So just avoid that route, of course. But use your personal credit. You spent all this time getting it to a good place. Why not use it to be able to jumpstart what you're able to do with your business? And outside of using your personal credit, of course, you're going to be building relationships with these banks to also start trying to increase the amounts that you get for funding and increase your chances of approval. So you definitely want to be able to have a few thousand that you can show within the bank account, showing that you want to build some type of relationship for the long term with these banks, which will really help open up the doors for you. And also, if you guys have been struggling to try to find the right options for funding for your business, and maybe you've been getting denied, maybe you've been getting really lower limits, like getting things $10,000, stuff like that, but not really getting approved for the higher 30, 40, $50,000 limit, then I'll tell you, you definitely want to book a call with me so that we can go over what is going on with your situation so that we can see how we can unlock higher amounts of funding. And I've seen people be able to get anywhere from, 50, 70, 100K within 30 days. So definitely book a strategy call with me down below or at the link you see on the screen. And if not anything else, make sure you subscribe to the channel to make sure you just keep getting more information like this so you can continue to learn. Now, here's that really key benefit that you can get by going to a lot of the banks, not all of them, but a lot of the banks that are out there. And it's going to allow you as a new business owner with no revenue yet to be able to apply for these business credit cards and still get approved for higher limits. And again, this counts for seasoned business owners as well. And that is basically going to the banks that do not require any documentation. While for loans, you usually have to provide, bank statements or show some type of proof of revenue and income. There are certain banks that if you go to them, they won't ask for any documentation or require anything. And you can still report revenue as projected revenue for your business if you are a new business owner, which allows you the opportunity to be able to stand a better chance at getting higher limits. Of course, there are other things that go into this, but that no documentation thing is going to be key for a lot of you guys and the amount of funding that you're able to unlock. Now, if you don't get the picture yet, the most important thing that you need to do here is find out which banks are the banks that don't require any proof of income and that allow new businesses to report that projected revenue so that you can start unlocking some of this unlimited funding for your business. Now, I'll share with you at least 5 of those banks in the next video. So if you're interested in learning what are those banks that you can actually go to, check out this next video and you'll learn all that you need to know about that. And I'll see you in the next video.